Good afternoon, you're with me, Tanima Biswas, and our top story, let's take a look at the situation at the Assam-Mizoram border. And despite the fact that there have been talks which have been chaired by the centre, despite the fact that there's been several days which have passed since that clash which took place at the Assam-Mizoram border, but tensions between the two states have not ebbed in any way yet. In the latest, Mizoram government has in fact said that not a single vehicle has come into the state from Assam and is still alleging that there's an economic blockade at the border between that they share with Assam. In fact, as a result, the Mizoram government has opened up alternate routes to bring in essential supplies. Mostly, they're getting a lot of help from Tripura and Manipur, but that is the what they have had to resort to, because what they claim is that there's been vehicular movement which has been completely stopped from the Assam side towards Mizoram, and this comes after the Mizoram government in fact alleged that there was a retaliatory economic blockade being followed by the Assam government following the July 26th clashes, and Mizoram government has in fact sought centre's intervention to lift the blockade.
हम सामान लेके उस पार जाता है, जाके बिक्री करता, मिजोरम जाता है तो बिक्री करता, अभी फिलहाल वो तो नहीं है, पूरा लॉस ही है।
तो आप अभी मिजोरम जाने के लिए यहाँ पे
हाँ, मिजोरम जाने के लिए अभी रुका हुआ, अभी सरकार का सहमत तो नहीं है, इसलिए तो हम नहीं जा पा रहा है, इसलिए तो हम बहुत नुकसान में है अभी।
अच्छा, तो आप क्या असम से मिजोरम की ओर जाते हो, वहाँ से सामान लेके?
हाँ, असम से मिजोरम की ओर जाता है सामान लेने।
उधरपुर बलिस्टोंग से आया और 7 दिन से खड़ा हुआ है, सीमेंट लोड है मेरा, तो माल पात्र हो रहा है, बारिश का टाइम में हम लोग जाने भी नहीं सकता है, इतना दिन से बैठा हुआ है, क्या करेगा। जब गाड़ी का नंबर दिखता है असम का नंबर, तो पात्र मरता है गाड़ी में। हम लोग कुछ खाना वाना भी इधर अच्छा से मिल रहा नहीं है, पानी नहीं मिल रहा है, हम लोग बहुत तकलीफ से है।
3 दिन से यहाँ पे बैठा हो, ना खाना मिल रहा है ना पानी मिल रहा है। ऐसे भी लॉकडाउन का टाइम है तो यहाँ पे दुकान भी बंद है, सब बंद है। जो हमारा गाड़ी में था सामान खाने के लिए वो भी ख़त्म हो गया, तो अभी तो हम लोग यहाँ पे नहीं जा पा रहे। तो हम सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को ये बोलना चाहते हैं जल्द से जल्द ये समाधान हो जाए और हम लोग यहाँ पे जा पाए लोड लेके, क्योंकि यहाँ पे लोड गाड़ी में लोड है। अगर और थोड़ा दिन बैठूंगा तो लोड जो सामान है वो भी खराब हो जाएगा।
I'm joined over the phone line by Adam Saprinsanga, who works for the Frontier Dispatch in Mizoram. Adam, thank you so much for taking out your time to speak to us here on Mirror Now. But what's the latest situation on ground? We've seen your government has actually been saying that they're waiting and ready for an amicable solution, but they are also saying at the same time that there are other strategies being used by the Assam government of an economic blockade where vehicles are not being allowed to enter from the Assam side towards Mizoram. What is the ground situation at the moment over there, and what exactly is the Mizoram government doing in order to ensure that essentials supplies are not in any way affecting normal life there?
The first point would be that, apart from the national highway that passes through Lailapur in Cachar district and into Mizoram, there are several interstate highways that are also there. Just a handful, though, and my information is that there's no movement through any of these interstate highways either. In fact, even journalist colleagues from other states who have tried to come in, I think only a few intrepid journalists have come through. My information is that only even one team even had to come via the Tripura border because they couldn't make it through these highways that I mentioned. And there's also another transportation problem, is that there is a railway ahead at Bairabi in Mizoram, and that railway is also not working. My information is that the rail tracks have been damaged at 2 areas, and the Mizoram government has written to the Railways Ministry and the Food Ministry. The Food Ministry is important in this regard because a lot of the public distribution system food grains also comes into Mizoram via the railways. And I think some parts of it, the ministry has allowed the Mizoram government to lift it from Tripura. So that is the one way that they've tried to get in. And also yesterday, the one piece of news that I also received was that the druggists, the pharmacies in Mizoram have written to the chief minister saying that their counterparts in other places have apparently been verbally told not to book orders from Mizoram. I mean, this is something that I couldn't independently verify from here, but there are letters which have been written to this effect.
That's right. What would you say, in fact, at the border area, what is the situation at the moment, Adam?
There is, I mean, of course, after the events of, Monday and subsequent events, build-up of troops, that it is tense, but as per my information, there is no actual, problem going on at the moment. I mean, it's calm. Of course, people would feel tense about after what had happened.
Right, so there is a bit of a calm, uneasy calm rather, at the border area there. But as Adam was saying, that several interstate highways, there's no movement. Even people's movement, especially journalists, in fact, is also affected to some extent. Rail tracks also damaged. Largely, it's essentially the supply of essential goods, which is a concern for the Mizoram government now, which is why they have, in fact, sought centers intervention in this regard. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. With that, giving us a perspective of what's the situation on the ground as far as Mizoram is concerned.